Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Hungry Bleak podcast. I am your host, Antonio Pomares. I hope you're all having a very good day, good week, month, whatever you've got going on. I hope it's very pleasant and hope you're taking care of yourselves. So let's jump right into it. I've got a lot going on this week, and it's it's actually a mixed bag. But let's go from there. So comic book news. Here we go. It's kind of con season, kind of starting up, maybe a little bit, kind of. Yes, virtually and in person. So first thing we've got Black Futures. This is from Subsume. This is Dedrin Sneed. Um, this is going to be on February 17th through February 19th. Next week. Is it next weekend? Wow, that is next weekend. Holy cow. That's going to be next weekend. There are going to be panels, virtual events for that. There's also going to be an in-person um, event as well. As always, in the episode description, I have the links for this everything. Yours truly will be hosting a panel, I believe that Friday evening, which should be a lot of fun. And hopefully, this is the beginning to new things for me. I'm deciding to really shed off a few things uh, and just go forward with uh, with life and a lot of other things, but also to create something new and forge new paths, let's say. So that's going to be a fun one. We also have Virtuous Con, which is going to be up again. This is February 24th to the 26th, I believe. So the weekend after that. This virtual event, this is from Cerise Rennie Murphy. Uh, Big, huge virtual event. They're going to have panels and they're going to have their digital floor, everything. This is perfect for anyone who wants to go to cons, but maybe you're not available to, money is tight, social anxiety, you just don't want to be out in public because we're in a post pandemic, quote unquote, question mark world. And this is perfect for you if you don't feel like being in crowds, if you don't feel like being a hustle and bustle, or you don't want to have to go out somewhere. There's a perfect event for people where you could just get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, wash your butt, do whatever you got to do, put some lotion on, uh, you know, um, get on your laptop, at your table, on your couch, stay in bed, have some breakfast, and you can be right there, which is an awesome thing. This is a huge event, and it's just becoming more and more of a staple, and it's really awesome. So that's very cool. So yeah, so those are going to be the events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. Black History Month, and you have two incredible creations that are from Black creatives for Black creatives and about Black creatives, and that's a beautiful thing, folks. So let's get that going. As far as comic book reviews, there are. Well, I spent the other day just reading through comics that I had to catch up on, and it was actually fun and draining, but draining in a good way. The reading, because I was like, oh wow, and I got to some of them. I had like 3 issues to read. I just ended up starting at the beginning and just going through them all and just enjoying the read and reread and catching little things I haven't found. So there's a lot of comics that have been out. So let's start with we have Monica Rambeau's Photon. This is from Marvel. Excuse me. This is being written by Eve L. Ewing. This is art by Luca Maresca with Ivan Fiorelli. Colorist is Carlo Lopez, and letterer is Clayton Cowles. So this is Monica Rambeau's Photon. If you're familiar with her from the MCU or you know the comics and you know her history, this is um, her solo adventure. I believe this is going to be 5 issues, a little solo title. I'm enjoying this. The issue opens up with Monica flying over the sea in all her glory and just being just incredible Auntie Monica as she's called sometimes. This story basically is about her. The first issue is basically about her and the hustle and bustle, and you see her go to the store and she's just out there trying to buy something. Then she goes outside and she's actually seen by an older woman who keeps calling her Captain Marvel, and she's like, oh, I haven't used that name in years. She goes, you'll always be Captain Marvel to us, which does ring true to me because yeah, she held that title before somebody else did. But anyway, I believe she was the second person to hold that title, I want to say, if I believe so, yeah. and just how she's constantly in need and constantly never finding a moment for herself, really. And at the end of the episode, after talking with her father and her cousin, who is a hot mess, she just decides to get some space for herself, and you just see her speeding through space at the speed of light. And then the next issue is very, very interesting, but I'm just going to leave it there. I really enjoyed this. As I've always said, Eve L. Ewing is one of my favorite writers. I'm so happy that she's going to be writing Black Panther. I'm really going to be into that because I want to see what she's going to do because she's awesome. The art is very bright and vibrant, which you would want from a Monica Rambeau title, since she's able to just exhibit the entire energy spectrum. You want that type of thing with her. The suit is awesome. It just yeah, the art was just beautifully done and just kind of captures Monica. The one thing I do miss is I miss Monica's fro. I hope at some point we are going to go back to Monica fro because her fro is just iconic. When you see her in the older white suit with the wings and the black emblem in the center, the mask and the fro, it was just iconic. Sometimes I wish we could go back to that. I do love the fact that Monica has had all these different hairstyles, and I think that's very, very important to show that representation, especially with black women, because black women will have three different hairstyles in the course of an hour, and they will all be just diabolically wonderful, and I love it. So this is definitely a pickup for me, and I say yes, go do it. Monica Rambeau, Photon, Marvel Comics. There are only 2 issues so far that are out, so you still have time to really catch up and have some fun with it. The next one is Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. Okay, you'll already know. I talked about this last time. As I sip a cup of my chai tea. So this is something that's supposed to come out years ago. It didn't, fell through. News came back. This is awesome. We've got this here. So, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. This is from Marvel. This is writer Danny Lore. We've got art is from Karen S. Darbo. Colorist is Chris Peter, and letter is VC's Joe Sabino. So this is the story of, excuse me, Brielle Brooks, and how she, you know, starts to come into her powers and starts to find out that she's the daughter of Blade, this vampire hunter. Now, in the Marvel universe, vampires are more known now. They even have their own like kingdom with Dracula as the leader, and Blade is actually the sheriff of the town to make sure that everything stays on the up and up, and he keeps everything situated and squared away, which I think is really cool. I love that. This was really fun seeing this young girl from a child, from like a younger adolescent to becoming a teenager. You start seeing her story and how she comes to be a hunter, and she begins to exhibit powers sometimes, so we're not sure when. Seems like her powers more manifest at night, but again, the story could change if there's a some type of catalyst that makes her powers more permanent. The feel of the art was really more felt more anime-ish or manga-ish, which I actually enjoyed. I like that. I like that feel to it and a bit of the teen angst. It kind of fit that way. Seeing this comic so far being headed by 2 black women, being Brielle and her mother, and the mother showing that she's been a vampire hunter, and Brielle kind of figuring out where she's at and seeing a picture of her mother and Blade and wondering what's going on. What's the connection? The end of the issue was very cool because it shows there was kind of almost like a post after, like excuse me, almost like a post credit scene where you'll have Blade. He's he's doing his thing, and he gets a call and realizes he has to go. There is also a character in here who I don't know very much of, so we might be getting a family kind of a thing. I hope at some point maybe this will lead or tie into a family book with Blade, Brielle, and maybe a couple other people. I'm hoping so. I want to see more of that history, what happened, how they met, everything. I'm just really excited about this. I think it's going to be a really cool title. This, I believe, is also going to be 5 issues. I don't say that as a negative thing. Sometimes to really flesh out a character and to maybe give a character more of a springboard, you need a 5 issue story to let them go and do their thing. And it's almost like having a 5 episode series where you're able to dive more into that instead of just having a movie. You're able to get more into the depth of the character, what drives them, their connections to the world, more of their mentality and where they're at as a not just as a not just as a superhero or as a character, but also as just a being. So I'm digging this. So seeing this young girl come into her own is going to be cool. I'm very excited about this. This is only one issue and it just came out, so you have plenty of time to go and dive into this. The next one is Silver Surfer Ghostlight. This is also from Marvel. Look at that. Marvel doing a sweep as far as the new comics. There will be other comics that I will talk about. Obviously, this is the first time I think I've had all Marvel comics for reviews, except for my Flashback Friday pick. Now, this is Silver Surfer. This is written by John Jennings. The art is Valentin Delandro. Colorist is Matt Miller, and letterer is VC's Joe Sabino. Again, really? Damn, Joe, getting it in. Okay, cool. All right, so this is the story of Al Harper's family. Now, this is a character, and I love when this happens when there are characters that have been forgotten about from years and years and years ago, and a writer comes along and says, "Hey, this character," and they're able to unearth this character, dust them off, give them a whole new coat of paint, and retcon them in a way which is beautiful and making them a part of history and also bringing them forward to really be something huge. So this is the story of a family that moves into the house of a deceased family member that they were given the house in a will, and they leave New York to go to this little town and just trying to make it. A husband, a wife, daughter, and a son, and it's hard, especially hard for the daughter Tony. Now, the one rule in the house is you do not go into the shed. Don't go into the shed. There's a lock on it. You stay out of it. Don't go into the shed. So one night, the parents go out for dinner, and the mother as well. The mother is there. They're taking care of her because she recently had, I want to say, pacemaker surgery. I believe is what it was. Um, so one night, grandmother is very tired. She decides to go up to her room, uh, take a nap. The parents are out. The two children decide to go explore the house and looking around. They say, hey, we can't find anything. We want to find out who the Al Harper's. We want to find out who this relative is. They decide to go out to the shed. Go out to the shed and they find all this stuff. It's about jazz. Now the son is very much into jazz music, which actually helps out with the puzzle solving of one of the locks inside the shed is a lock that will only respond to a certain song from jazz. They open it up and they find this lab with all this incredible equipment. They accidentally turn on one of the piece of equipment down there, and it alerts a government agency. It also alerts the Silver Surfer, who recognizes the energy signature and makes his way to Earth. This agency also wants to find out what's going on. They haven't seen the signature in years, and they make their way to this small town. Meanwhile, the two young children are seeing the light bouncing all over the place, and they follow it, and it's going to a grave. The grave begins to turn green, this huge energy, just like the daughter has been seeing in her dreams. Every night in her dreams, she sees a bright green flaming figure, um, and she doesn't know what it means. And then the figure actually comes out of the ground, green flame, and immediately the son, the young boy says, "Oh my God, it's the Human Torch." And he keeps talking about the Fantastic Four, but it's not the Fantastic Four. It's Al Harper, the relative that they thought was deceased. At the end of the comic, the Silver Surfer is there and said, who disturbs the resting place of my dear friend and one of Earth's greatest heroes, Al Harper?" End. I don't know very much about Al Harper or Ghostlight, but this is actually going to make me go and look up the character because I want to know. But I also want to see how they retcon this character into more of the history and into our modern day. This is phenomenal work. I absolutely love the art. Um, Delandro, who's artist on, I uh, I want to say Bitch Planet. I hate saying that word, but it's the title. It just doesn't come out of my mouth properly. It just doesn't. Which is an incredible title. I absolutely loved it. Art just fits so well and wonderfully, and Yeah, this was something I wasn't gonna pick it up because it's cosmic and it's Silver Surfer. I'm not as much as I love Silver Surfer, and I love the Silver Surfer's way of being. I absolutely love the Silver Surfer's animated series, which was really ahead of its time. It was so great, but ahead of its time. But I wasn't gonna get it, and then I said, "You know what? No, no, no. I need to check this out. This is John Jennings. John Jennings is gonna deliver on something really, really cool." And he did because I wanna know more about this character. So I'll be looking up the character, and I'll also, like I said, wondering how it fits in. So those are my 3 reviews for new comics that have come out. But I got to hit you with that Flashback Friday because it's Friday, even though it's just pre-recorded. But you're watching it on Friday, right? Okay, cool, or whatever day. But this is coming out on Friday. Don't at me. So what we've got is Plastic. Now, if you know, you know. Wow, this, yeah, absolutely. Look, this is from Image Comics. This is writer is Doug Wagner. We've got art by Daniel Hilliard. We've got colorist is Laura Martin, and letterer is Ed Dukeshire. Okay, so y'all know I love a good revenge story, a good revenge. I love a good revenge story. I love dark humor. I love something that's unexpected. This was all of that. I kind of knew the story of Plastic, but I didn't know until I read it. And the other day, I was like, you know what? Let me finally read this. I had it in my Comixology library for a while. I bought it. I don't know, maybe a year or so back. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me read this. Started reading it. Normally, when I read a trade, I can read it. I get up, go do some stuff, come back. Yeah, this definitely got me. I was sitting there, I read the whole thing, and I was like, what the hell? Basically, the story of a man is at a gas station with his significant other, his partner, his girl. You see her blonde hair. She's sitting there. He's going into the store. He gets some stuff, comes out, and these guys are harassing her. He tells them, "Hey, leave my girl alone." He ends up beating the piss out of these guys, just mauling them as they make lewd advances towards his girlfriend. When we see her, we find out that she is a blow up doll. I I couldn't make that up if I tried, folks. I couldn't. This is the love of his life. This is who he's in. And it goes from there when he comes afoul of one of the big bads in the town, who one of the people that one of the assailants he beat up was this big bad's son, this guy in the town who owns the town. They kidnap him and they kidnap his girlfriend, whose name is Virginia, and they are rude to her. One of the men looks up her skirt, another man licks her leg, and you start seeing this guy, let's call him Victor. This guy Victor who starts to just lose it. Well, he's actually named Victor in the comic, and you see his mind start to click, and he goes out and needs to go and find Virginia. He meets with this man and says the only way that you're going to get her back is if you do this job. If you kill these people, I will give her back to you. So he goes, okay. So he goes and does the thing, and then he goes on this rampage to get her back, to get Virginia back. Dark humor. It is bloody, um, and it was very touching in a way. There's only a couple people who make fun of him because of the fact that he's with this blow up doll, but it's also the fact that a lot of people see it as being normal and just see that that's where his heart is. That's who he loves, or maybe they're just afraid of him. I couldn't possibly tell you, but either way, yeah, it was oddly touching, and it was a pretty cool love story revenge flick, and how it ended. I really, really appreciated it on a few different levels, and yeah, just something different, something that I was not expecting, and those folks are the best stories. So yeah, check out Plastic. Um, it's in trade form obviously because it came out in like 2017, but definitely worth it. So go and check that one out. All right. What else? But there's something else I want you to check out, folks. I want you to check out this Wellness Check Friday. Hey, how you doing? You all right? Have you drank water? Have you eaten? Have you taken your vitamins? Have you taken your pills? I'm not trying to police you. I'm just trying to get you to be the best you that you can be. Whether it's for a mental or a physical or emotional ailment, take the best care of yourself that you can. I know that's now for those now if you know, you know, I know that's very it's very hard coming from me because of who I am and because of how I've beaten myself up physically, mentally, and emotionally over the years. And I'm at a place where I want more. I deserve more. I've earned more, and I'm going to get more. And I want that for you too as well. All right. So you do the best you can, folks. All right. Also, I want you to go and I want you to get something to eat because where's my plate? So here's the thing. Before the pandemic, a friend of mine, my best friend, Al, he was like, hey, man. But before the pandemic, it was after I'd gotten out of the hospital, I was sick, hungry. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing? I said, I'm not doing anything. He's like, hey, you want to go get something to eat? I said, bet, let's go. He's like, all right, man. Where you want to go? I said, yo, you know me, man. I'm good. He was like, all right, I got a place for you. It's going to be a little out of the way, but the food is banging. So we went up to New Hope, Pennsylvania. It's on the border of Jersey and Pennsylvania. Like it's a small town. There's a you can actually go on the bridge. A lot of it's a really small, quaint town. I would love to take someone there. Um, you know, it's just a beautiful thing. Went to a place called Karla's. Yeah, this hitting on point, on point. It was a couple years ago, but I can still taste the food. I had turkey chili. I'm a big turkey chili fan. Turkey chili was amazing. Sour cream on top, one a dollop of wonderful. But what it was is the bowl was made of like a tortilla chip that you could eat with the actual chili. Astronomical food. I loved it. Stay the night if you can. It's beautiful. You go there and they had all these wonderful, beautiful shops there. Like I said, it was a really small, quiet, like it felt like a town you would see in a Western. It was that beautiful. I mean, it's still, I mean, modern, obviously, but just quiet. And the time of day that we went, it was very quiet. It's a little overcast. It was a little like, chilly, wind blowing through. And you can see like you can actually, stand on the bridge and watch the water and see, the border be and you can actually stand in between New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And it was just a beautiful thing. I'm so glad he like was like, look, man, I got a place for you. It's a little bit of a hike, but you're gonna dig it. And I did. It was one of the most peaceful times I've had. And I absolutely loved it. And I would love to go back. Like I said, I would love to go there with someone and spend a weekend and just turn our phones off. I mean, from everything else, but not, y- y- people that need us and just be. It was so beautiful. Carla's and everything around there was just it hit on a level that I wasn't expecting it to. And I needed that. I'm always in New York and hustle and bustle and everything going on there. And then to go from that to this little town, so quiet, so quaint, so beautiful, so charming. Yeah. It felt it felt right. It felt awesome. So yeah, if you're there, check out New Hope, check out Carla's, and just enjoy the town itself. It was very beautiful. I'm not sure what it's like now after COVID starts like that, but honestly, I do want to go back because it was beautiful. All right, but let me talk to you something else about something. Can I talk to you for a second, folks? When did the word solid become a bad thing? Solid as far as whoops, see my voice just cracked. Solid as far as the way people give a compliment. I don't know why people have a problem with being solid. They want everything solid, consistent. They want everything to be big and here's the thing about big and after a while it's dim and it burns. A solid could always depend on it and it's consistently good. I'd rather be solid than to be, oh my God, so big and flashy and then fizzle out. Solid gets things done. Solid delivers each and every single time. Solid is dependable. Solid is consistent. That's not a bad thing. In this day and age, you either have to be really great, awesome, oh my God, or hey, I didn't like it. People have lost the ability to give things other compliments and the little nuances of things. Whether it's a movie, whether it's a writer, whether it's an artist, whether it's a whatever it is, whoever it is. Solid is good. Solid gets it done, and solid is there. Because let's think about it. If you have a politician who's just big and flash and nothing else, what happens then? But if you have someone who's solid, who's in the trenches doing it continuously every day, doesn't look pretty, but they get it done, that's what you want. Remember, a couple years ago, we had someone who was flashy. Remember how that happened? Remember how it turned out? Yeah, I do. So solid is good. Solid is great. Solid gets things done. And I love that. For real. But then again, what do I know? That's just my bleak perspective, and I'm just drinking out of a Hiei coffee mug. But that chai tea always hits just right. So, folks, that's been today's show. Look, thank you so very much for being here. I always appreciate it. You know, I never think that I make an impact or indulgent or improve anything or what have you. I never do. And then someone says, "Hey, I like this. Hey, I like that." But what I'm going to tell you, folks, is if you like what I'm doing, please don't just say it in my DMs. Say it out loud. Say it to the world. Like, subscribe, comment, share, please, because I'm doing this every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will have a new episode of the Hungry Bleak podcast. That's my commitment to you. That's me being consistent. That's me being solid. All right. As always, I say, do the best you can with what you got, because in the end, that's all that we get. But I'm going to add to that. Do the best you can with what you got, because in the end, that's all that you get. And I'm going to do my best to make paths converge, because it's worth it. It's always worth it. All right. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy. Please indulge the shoulder shake as you see me go away. Okay. All right. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that.